Before we begin the weekly briefing, I've got a couple updates looking to the week ahead. Mayor Thompson meets with the editorial board of the Patriot News tomorrow at their offices in Mechanicsburg. Also, tomorrow the mayor will conduct a press conference at the Harrisburg Art Association in recognition of the Wednesday Club, which was founded in 1882 in Harrisburg and is the oldest continuing classical performance group in the United States. The 130th anniversary ceremony is scheduled for 1 o'clock tomorrow. Wednesday, there will be the second May meeting of the Municipal Finance Advisory Committee in the chamber room here in the atrium. And the mayor will probably be available for comments following the receiver's briefing. Also Wednesday evening at 4 o'clock, the mayor will attend a Helen Franklin sign dedication ceremony on Seneca Streets between 5th and 6th Streets in the city. We'll put more information out on these events as they get closer. And now we'll turn to Chief Ritter and the weekly public safety briefing.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, everyone. Just a point of clarification here. I know we call this a weekly briefing, but what I want to kind of remind everyone or kind of emphasize on that most of these briefings are based on occurrences that occurred over the last 3 days, which is over like Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. On a daily basis, I'm assuming, or I know that you all get press releases from our Lieutenant Fagan. So in most cases, I don't want to be redundant and talk about things that you already know about. Most of the things that I'm going to talk about are things that have not been released as of yet as a press release, which usually come out a little later on during the day. But here you're getting firsthand information on things that occurred Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So everyone's clear on that. Starting with Friday the 18th, we had an incident, an armed robbery in the 1500 block of Dairy Street, where an individual reported that he was robbed of his cell phone and $300. Now, we did make an arrest in that case where we arrested a 20-year-old male who was from the Pembroke area of Harrisburg for that robbery. On Saturday the 19th at 1:50 in the morning in the 24 South 16th Street, we had an aggravated assault where an individual reported that he had been shot on the right side of his torso. Suspects are 3 black males, and we're still investigating that particular episode. On the 19th in the 2600 block of Agate Street, we had they're calling it a disorderly conduct event where we made an arrest on 5 females, all over the age of 20. Evidently there was individuals had frequented a local lounge, or actually a nightclub in the area of the 600 block of Wiccanisco Street. It was a group of women. They got in some type of an argument, a fight broke out, and upon the police responding to the area, like I said, 5 arrests were made of all these individuals who were over the age of 20 and all females. Saturday afternoon, we investigated an arson incident where an 11-year-old juvenile was charged with arson. Evidently, this juvenile was playing with a lighter in the rear of the 1900 block of Forster Street, where he set a mattress on fire. The mattress then engaged a vacant structure there at 1926 Forster Street. We were able to locate that juvenile, who's 11 years old, and charge that individual with the arson. Right now, he's probably not in. It doesn't say that he's in any type of facility of any sorts, so I'm assuming he's probably at home with his parents. So in most cases, a lot of times, if it's a juvenile's first offense or whatever, they call juvenile probation and they allow them to be with their parents, but actually they're on kind of like guarded house arrest, if you want to call it such. On the 20th at 5:50 in the evening, there was another robbery incident where two juveniles were robbed of a cell phone and no monies. The individual that robbed them was a 19-year-old who produced a BB gun. He asked to use one of the individual's cell phones. He took the cell phone, left the area, and he was apprehended shortly thereafter by our officers who arrived on scene. On Saturday around 7 in the evening, 5th and Emerald Street, there was an incident where some shots were fired. We had two vehicles that were damaged. We're still investigating that incident. There was a report of a large crowd that was in the area. We did find some evidence of some 9mm casings in the area, so we're still investigating the incident up there at 5th and Emerald. Early this morning, around 1 in the morning at 3rd and Delaware Street, there was a robbery incident where an individual stated he was leaving a friend's house in that area. He was confronted by an individual who took in the area of 3rd and Delaware Street at 1:10 in the morning. Individual was robbed. He stated he was in that area visiting a friend. Once he approached the area of 3rd and Delaware going to his vehicle, individual approached him and he was robbed of his cell phone and keys, I guess keys to his house and his vehicle. His vehicle wasn't taken, just his iPhone and keys to his, I don't know if it's his home or his vehicle. So that was our last robbery. That concludes the majority of the incidents that occurred over the weekend. Like I said, you'll be getting press releases based on what I just spoke about shortly, so you can follow up on that. And if you have any questions, I'm open. Yes?
Hello, Chief. Can you talk a little bit more about the arson, the 11-year-old? Was there any damage to the house he was in? Do you know where?
Yeah, it was a vacant property at 1926 Forster Street, Forster Street. Evidently there was a mattress that was out back of this home. The juvenile was playing on the mattress, playing with a lighter, set the mattress on fire. Then this mattress, of course, it ignited and caught onto the vacant structure house that was there. It was able to, fire department did arrive and extinguish the fire, so there was minimal damage done to the structure, even though it was a vacant structure.
Any word on, like, I don't know, where he got the matches? Did he live in the area?
He lived in the immediate area because they caught him at his home, which was less than a block away. It was a lighter as opposed to matches, so, you know, it's hard to say where kids get lighters from.
Have you spoken to the family? How have they?
I don't have any information on that at this time. Yes, sir.
Chief, regarding last week's shooting on Harris Street there, 100 block of Harris Street, where are you guys at with this? Do you have anybody in custody?
I'll let Captain Massey speak upon that, because that, once they have incidents like that, they go up to our CID and they follow up on that.
It's all right. The case is still being investigated, so we have no information to update you on at this time.
Do you have anybody in custody? Do you have any suspects you're looking for?
There are people we're looking at, persons of interest, but again, to go further into the investigation, I can't do it at this time.
Chief, obviously this
Yes.
weekend is Arts Fest, the big festival, I guess, for summer. What are the safety plans for this weekend?
Usually we have additional officers out, but the Arts Fest itself usually has a contingency of security down there outside the Harrisburg Police Department. So they're usually pretty well secure in the event in itself. But we still have officers that are in the perimeter area of the Arts Fest to make sure that people get there safely and to their cars safely, and of course, enjoy the festival.
Do you know what the parking situation is going to be like? What roads are going to be shut down?
Usually, right now I don't have the information on that, but in past history is usually one lane of Front Street heading south from Market down to the interstate where it opens up. Usually just one lane, and it's usually for vendors so that they can load and unload their wares.
And just kind of want to get an update on the camera situation. I know you guys met with a company a week or two ago. Where you guys at?
Yeah, we have like two more companies that we're going to have, vendors actually, that we're going to talk with. We're going to make our selection out of those three that gives us the best offer, best type quality cameras, those type of things. So within the next week or so, I think we have two more meetings set up with two more vendors.
In your best judgment, when do you think these cameras can pick a vendor and one be up and running?
I'm going to say, to be realistic about it, maybe 2 months. I want to say at least 2 months. Would you say, Captain Cleary? But Captain Cleary would probably say longer, which he has been telling me longer. But we don't want to rush and just throw things together. We're going to make sure that what we're doing is correct and proper. We're going to make sure that we have good quality equipment and all of that packaged together, so that it isn't just haphazardly put together.
And how does this kind of go into your plan here to fight crime this summer? I know there's a lot of speculation that with the hot summer, this might be a pretty violent one.
I don't really want to speculate on that it could be a hot, violent summer, because, of course, crime's all over the place. So I don't want to say that we're any different than any other city as far as, like, activity that occurs. We are prepared for what may or we project may occur during the summer with some strategic planning that we do have in place.
Can you give us an update on how the illegal gun program is going? And you mentioned that on Saturday, on, I think, maybe you said Fifth Emerald, I'm not really sure, but shots were fired and 2 cars were damaged, and you all found 2 guns, I think? So
Yes.
I just wanted to know how the illegal gun program is going. Have you recovered any guns?
We've recovered guns, but not basically under the program itself. We have been getting calls in to the office, but some of them, a lot of times, just to reiterate on the program itself, people, we've seen some of our signs defaced out here on the streets. We saw a defaced sign out here in the area of Hummel and Kennetitty Streets. We have to take some measures in order to educate the public that this isn't just a game out there for them to, deface our signs once we put them up in those areas. We have to be a little bit more vigilant as far as our officers out there on patrol to make sure that we don't see people defacing our signs out there. We have been getting calls in. Some of the calls have not really panned out. We do have officers that do follow up on the information on those, and the program seems to be going in the right direction. But as far as any guns that have been recovered as a result of that, I don't think we have done that just as yet.
And also, I know jaywalking is just a serious problem in the city. Can violators be cited? Can people who do not use a crosswalk and just cross the street, can they be cited? And if so, what is the fine?
There is a state law and city ordinance about, you call it jaywalking. That's walking not within the crosswalk. We're finding that most of our pedestrian accidents occur because of people that do that. We see people doing that in the neighborhoods all the time. Some of the highly traveled streets such as Dairy and Market Street are notorious for individuals crossing not within a crosswalk area or at the corners there. We want to say to the public, please be cognizant of crossing the streets, not within the crosswalk zones. And people, I see them doing it downtown here. They run across here to the Hilton a lot. If in fact you are struck by a vehicle as a result of walking where there is no crosswalk, the liability does not fall on the person that struck you if they're within the guidelines of the law. So if people think that if, I get hit by a car, that the person hit me is going to pay for it, that's not 100% true. When we get the opportunity to do it, our officers do enforce it. If we have like walking officers or officers that are in close proximity to where this happens a lot, we will enforce it. The fine is usually $25 plus whatever court costs that are added on to that. So you may get a fine of at least $100 plus if you're fined in violation of that.
So will your officers be doing it more often because it seems like we're having more accidents?
I don't want to say more often, but we'll be more, we will probably monitor those areas where we've been having accidents as a result. We have been getting information or complaints that within the 14 through 1600 block of Market Street is very, I don't want to say notorious, but they've had problems with people crossing streets there illegally, plus traffic traveling outside of the speed limit, which is 35. We have put our traffic safety unit out there on Market Street to monitor those situations. They will, in fact, then, in addition to citing motor vehicle violations, pedestrian foot violations also.
So you said you have a traffic safety unit out there at all times?
Not at all times. We intermittently put them out there, so it's not they're out there every day,
14th
So
and 16th.
between the 1400 block and the 1700, well, actually between 14 and 17 Street on Market Street. So at any given time, we may put them out there for a couple of days and then put them someplace else and then put them back out there for a couple of
Is
days.
there a particular time where you get a lot of daywalkers?
In the afternoons, afternoon, early evening.
Is there any sort of update on where you can say on the fight that happened on Allison Hill that was caught on video?
Which one is that?
The 19-year-old Isaac Green, the victim.
I'll let Captain Massey talk about it. He has a lot more information on it. We just talked about that a few minutes ago, so I'm not really up on what actually happened. Maybe he can give you a little bit of insight.
Thank you.
I would.
I'm just looking for like what the
Yeah.
focus is on the person that you're looking for. And
Right.
that whole thing.
You understand it was shown on Channel 21, I believe, and also on YouTube. Detectives are working aggressively on that case to identify all the participants, to include those witnesses there. As you know, it was a bad fight, and we're not taking it lightly. We do intend on arresting someone shortly.
Is it your understanding that it was over a stolen gun? I mean, what do you know about why it happened?
Well, I can't discuss that right now, but once we effect the arrest, then I will update you as much as we can at that point.
What can you say about something like that being captured on video? I mean, does it help or hinder the investigation in any way? Or, it's just another sign of, modern technology being a part of some of these crimes?
Modern technology at its best, what it did to identify those persons involved and give us an idea of just what happened. So we will utilize what information we have that we saw on your station to put together pieces of the investigation.
I know for a period of time it was, like you said, on YouTube, but then we saw that it was taken down. What's the thought process behind, or what's the opinion, I guess, of the police bureau having something like that visible to the public?
Well, it's reality, the world we live in. So the fact that it was on YouTube was good for us. Now, unfortunately, the person who posted it probably realized they made a mistake. So we're going to utilize that to our advantage.
Can they be held accountable or get in trouble in any way for posting something like that to the internet?
The social media, cell phone, cameras, that's what they do today, as you know.
Do you know anything about the condition of the victim?
Not at this time, I do not.
And just, I know you said you're still investigating, but as far as the person that you're looking for, I know you can see them. The report that we had run said something along the lines about you're still looking for the person responsible. Is that just basically where it stands now?
Oh, yes. And we thank you guys for the information you did provide us as far as putting on the air, too. Sure.
I guess just to follow up from last week real quick, I know you said you're looking at maybe shifting some of the times for your Midtown officer patrols. said you wanted to look into maybe moving things back later. You said that the shift of crime was happening later, so you guys had to combat that as well. Looking at about moving foot patrols in Midtown overnight.
Oh yeah, I did say that. Sometimes I forget some of the things that if I don't have it in front of me. Yeah. Usually what we do is we move deploy our personnel based on crime trends, if you want to call it such. Now that we have crime mapping up and running, our information that we get through that system, we deploy our personnel based on the time frames as to when they occur. So yes.
Is this the crime mapping? Is it something new?
It's new, very new. Penn State University came in about a year ago, and they offered this system to us that didn't cost us anything. All we have to do is dedicate the time and effort towards putting this program and getting it up and running, and it helps us out tremendously. Yeah, it's electronic as opposed to, if you see, the old crime mapping, you look at the old television shows, you see a map of the city and they have these little push pins all over the place. It's electronic now, so it kind of groups things into certain areas, and we can deploy our personnel based on what we see on the map.
How long have you been using this?
It just started within the last month or two, if that long. It was up and actually running. It was kind of like in the beta system, a beta process within a year, and then now it's like it's full speed ahead now with it.
At arson, can you just tell me again when that took place?
On the 20th, which was, is that Saturday? Yeah. At 15:15 in the afternoon, so that's 3:15 in the afternoon.
And it was out within minutes?
Yes.
He wasn't hurt?
No, he wasn't. He ran from the scene, so we chased him to a house.
It did catch?
The mattress caught on to the house, yes. It was close enough to the house that it caused some damage to the rear of the property, but it was extinguished very expeditiously. That didn't cause any extensive damage at all.